Good morning, friends. Welcome to this third day of the training program for branch managers. We'll be starting today's sessions with a session on credit monitoring, which will be taken by our senior mentor, Dr. R.K. Dubey. Dr. R.K. Dubey is a former CMD of Canara Bank. Before that, he was Executive Director of Central Bank of India, and he started his career in PNB as a probationary officer, where he rose up to the level of General Manager. He is a very person of very wide learning, I would say. He is MA in English Literature, LLB, CAIIB, MBA in HR. Then he has a postgraduate level course in development banking from Victoria University of Manchester. Recently, he has completed his PhD. And right now, he is pursuing LLM course also. So for him, learning never ends, but at the same time, he is equally passionate about sharing his knowledge with others. And he is been a guiding force behind our elite banker. During his tenure, Canara Bank increased the bank's business by 240,000 crores, which is a big milestone for any bank. And that too in a very short period of less than 2 years. And his leadership style was captured and researched by late Padma Professor Dr. Pritam Singh in his book, The Leadership Odyssey from Darkness to Light. He has also co-authored an ebook on data privacy entitled Data Protection and Privacy Implementation, Indian Perspective. He holds many certifications, and he is associated with a large number of institutions as a director or as a mentor or as an advisor. And I could just include some of these institutes in this PPT. The list is larger than this. But the prominent among these is the Lal Bahadur Institute of Business Management in Delhi, Birla Institute of Management and Technology, TKW Institute of Banking and Finance, Bajaj Alliance Limited, Lord Krishna Financial Services, Shri Sharda Institute of Indian Bank Management, and many institutes, more institutes. Recently also I saw something in his LinkedIn that he has joined some big company as an advisor. So a very widely learned person who has influenced many bankers. Many of present day CMDs, MDs, CEOs or executive directors of banks, they have been mentored by him. And today we are very fortunate that he is here to mentor all of you. So I'll be requesting Dr. Dubey to start his session. Dr. Dubey, sir.
Thank you, Shri Arvindji. Good morning, my dear friends, young banker friends who are, many of them branch managers who are in the maybe administrative offices elsewhere. It is a very important topic, credit monitoring. In fact, credit monitoring has never been considered in the past. Past means about 10 years ago. In our earlier days, as anything of significant importance. It was important, but as a credit monitoring as such, it was not. But since the days of NPA definition, this assumed greater significance, and now it is, you all know, it is very, very important. So therefore, I would say that this is a very important thing presently. Why credit monitoring? I have written objectives of the session. In fact, most of you know, I'll only lay a few stress on some of the area. The importance has been because of rising credit default, maybe due to economy going up and down, maybe because of change of government, maybe because of borrowers doing truant or the playing games, maybe because of several other factors. But the fact remains that in the last 10 years plus, it could be 10 to 13 years, credit default has been increasing. I remember till 2008-9 or even 10, NPAs in India had been hovering around 2 to 3% gross, NPA around 1.5%. Reasons could be many, but that was the status. Early delinquency, which was not checked in the past, it started happening a little more frequently. A little background I'm sharing with you. And then non-compliance of terms and conditions, it was found that this is one of the major reasons why early delinquencies were happening, why credit defaults had been happening, carelessness by the banking people in pre-sanction appraisal, and when the loan is sanctioned, rushing to disburse without complying terms and conditions of the sanction, which they had themselves proposed and borrowers had agreed, or their sanctioning authorities put those conditions, and rampant diversion of funds, which became a normal phenomenon. Although I agree with somebody says that diversion of fund is very to pinpoint in any account, especially in CCOD account in Indian banking. The system that we have, I feel it is opaque and it needs reconsideration. It needs rethinking by the bankers, by the regulators. The present system is fraught with so many deficiencies. CC is like worse than the term loan. Term loan at least comes back with installments in 3, 4, 5, 7, 10 years. And if there are 2 or 3 installments in default, you could classify. CC is a perennial advance, keeps on renewing, enhancing. It gets never paid. Who gets it, he thinks that it is his money now. At any point of time, if he is asked to repay back, he can't. This system needs, I think, a review. Globally, CC is not a very popular product, but in India it has been, and nobody has been serious about thinking its alternates. Coming to diversion of funds definition. The definition of diversion of funds or delinquency or quick mortality by Reserve Bank, and as per that circular issued by the banks, I feel more than 95% accounts can be classified as a NPA account, or even not only NPA, fraud account. An account where funds are transferred to other purpose, to meet out other purpose than for which it was sanctioned, is also a non-compliance and is also a reason for declaration of fraud, etc. Therefore, this definition also needs some review, needs some more punchlines, so that left, right, and center accounts cannot be classified as fraud by the whims and fancies of some of the over-enthusiastic bankers, putting their other colleagues in jeopardy. Maybe some exemptions are allowed, some insurance premium, some personal insurance thing. Maybe some riders are given that maybe for 5%, if not 10%, for some uses, those uses could be described, is permitted even from such CC account. Better to be upfront, clear, than being too tough and then catching people. This is my feeling. This is my view. Maybe may not, many may not agree. But my experience of 45 years says the definition needs to be broadened further, needs to be properly classified further, needs to be given a bit of breakup further. Too much of general definition of willful default or considering diversion of funds is I think too arbitrary in the present day things. When we say, moreover, that you can't even maintain a current account with our bank or any other bank. Now he doesn't maintain current account. Many don't maintain even saving account. Then from which account they will do the transactions for their personal needs? Some way out, some clarity is required. Perhaps there is no time for many to think because there are many other larger, broader issues. But these grassroots level issues also need attention by the powers that be. Maybe they are escalated by our Bankers Weekly helpline or our Elite Bankers Club. We trigger it to IBA. I think when Mr. Raj Kiran Rai from Union Bank was a very positive man, was IBA chairman, that was a high time we should have suggested. Anyway, better late than never. We should still make out a case regarding considering norms revision for declaration of account as a fraud, diversion of funds. Maybe another thing is quick mortality definition. Maybe declaration of fraud, the norms. All these basic things need, because a lot of innocent people, for no reason or rhyme, cases are going into fraud and they are going into CBI vigilance, and a lot of innocent good colleagues are in deep trouble. And this is happening even now, day in and day out. Therefore, my appeal through this to my dear friend Arvind Mohanji to take a lead. I don't have time, otherwise I would have done. He could take help from me also. Dr. Fareed is there online. He is also listening. He may be with me or not. Other senior, Dr. Sundarajan, senior, very senior person, much senior than our time, even our very eldest person. All those veterans, Tansali ji is there, maybe not today, but he is there, who was into IBA for a long time.
He will be coming later on, sir.
So my feeling is, Arvind ji, certain basic things, I am a bit digressing, need attention by all. हम तो वो पढ़ देंगे, बता देंगे जो हम कहना चाहते हैं, पर जो होना चाहिए आइडियली, उसका भी तो डिबेट कभी होना चाहिए ना.
We will take up, sir.
हम सबको कभी फुर्सत ही नहीं इन चीजों को देखने. अरविंद जी, हमारे इतने इनोसेंट कलीग्स पिटे हैं पिछले 10-20 साल में और रोज पिट रहे हैं. मेरी कल परसों बात हुई है, जो काम कर रहा है वो डूम डे की तरफ जा रहा है. इसलिए ना काम करने का कल्चर एनकरेज हो रहा है. निकम्मों की बारात लग रही है प्रमोशन में, प्रमोटी लिस्ट में. I feel very sad and bad. And the future of Indian banking, I don't say it's bleak, looks very dicey, looks very, challenging, very challenging in view of tougher competition from private banks, and also, such vague, open-ended norms which could be used by anybody for any purpose. Just a little digression. Well, friends, I bring you back to why credit monitoring. Going further, not having close eye on account operations. Earlier in our time, we had a manual system, physical morning checking. That means either we used to do next day morning or same day at the end of the operation, because it was all open. There were ledgers, there were books of long books, there were transfer journal, and there were physical checking by voucher with long book, voucher with transfer journal, voucher with ledger. So even if 80% one could not notice, 10-20% manager, CM, I as a chief manager, I remember as late as 1996-7, I used to do first job in the morning as general ledger checking, subsidy general ledger checking, CC checking, current account checking, morning checking with voucher. So we used to know in whose account what is happening, what types of checks are going on, what types of credits are coming, what types of debits are happening. If we wanted, we could start some restraint, we could talk, we could call. Now with computerization, many good things have happened. Many other things have also creeped into which were earlier there and not now there. Exception reports are even now generated, but they are more not followed than followed. Either it should be made mandatory with punitive measures, otherwise they become very, very harmful. Anyway, so if we have good, uh, control on operation of account, good watch on account, this also can be curbed. Laxity in scrutiny of periodical returns. They start from weekly operations, daily operations. Concurrent auditor also doesn't look to all these things, which manager overlooks the branch people. He is also part of the same rut, whether he is an internal concurrent auditor, whether it is a regular concurrent auditor, whether it is a CA, a firm concurrent auditor, I don't find much difference. Anyway, then there is a monthly inventory stock report, what we call. Then maybe quarterly statements. Maybe for big, large accounts, there are many usual statements they call control returns set forth by every bank, maybe with one name or the other. They are not being checked and scrutinized. I honestly say, even we were not that particular as we should be in our days. But somehow we could go through with the time. Times have changed, borrowers have changed, they have become more smart, they have become more, they want us to be caught napping in any dilution of norms, then they spread their wings. So if we don't scrutinize the periodical returns properly, it is for our peril they enjoy. Not taking timely corrective steps, allowing leeway and long rope. In fact, when we don't scrutinize properly the return, when we don't have close eye on the account operation, obviously we often don't know what are the corrective steps required, what are the preventive steps taken, and borrowers or the company or the firms, they get leeway and long hope. सब चलता है, यहाँ तो कोई देखता ही नहीं. My dear friends, I am not saying very simple, important, ordinary thing. Every word is loaded with a lot of meaning. How much you are interested to know, learn, implement is your choice. My only best wishes will be there that these are not properly followed. If they are followed, even then there could be some misses, but chances of them will become substantially reduced. We move on. Credit monitoring vertical. I remember in PNB, even till GM, I was there in 2010. There was no vertical known as credit monitoring vertical. The same credit desk officer, sanctioning person, the same chief manager, same AGM, same branch manager who was sanctioning, he was also monitoring those accounts. Delinquency, only there was another department known as the protested department, जो आजकल recovery department, कहीं जगह collection department private bank वाले बोलते हैं, somewhere they say NPA department, distress asset department, etc., etc. But actually, review sheet, even quarterly review sheet coming to regional office in RO and above sanction was going to the same officer who was sanctioning. So that while sanctioning and review and renewal enhancement, he is aware of those things. This was the logic. Okay. When I joined Central Bank of India as ED in 2010 September, And around 2011, my dear Shri M.V. Tansale ji joined as CMD, who was my ED in PNB when I was GM. Now there we realized, Madam Iyer was there with us as another ED in Central Bank, that there is a need for proper separate monitoring, credit monitoring vertical. I remember those days, 2011, means around 10, 11 years ago. This vertical as a separate GM with whole department was created by us. And when we started monitoring, we found that even one GM and one department is not enough. We developed it into two segments with some cutoff, say above 50 lakhs, below 50 lakhs. Above 50 lakhs, number will be less, but quantum will be more. Below 50 lakhs, volume of number may be more, maybe amount is less, whatever it is. Centralized monitoring from head office, zonal, regional office was required and considered essential. So emergence of credit monitoring vertical in banks happened. When I moved to Canara Bank, I found it was not there. 2000 January 13, it was not there as in Central Bank, PNB. I immediately called my people, discussed within a month, within I think 1 week, we created one. And later on, when I left, by the time I left next year, I had a short stint of 2 years. We created 3 GM credit monitoring, one for monitoring of account above 100 crores, monitoring of accounts from 10 lakhs to 100 lakhs, and accounts below 10 lakhs. All 3 GMs were the most busiest person. And NPAs really started trickling in huge volume. We could know what is all happening in the field. Many times managers were not aware what is happening in their branch. Things have changed for betterment. Functions of credit monitoring vertical were decided. They were defined. Duty sheets and job profiles were created. They were added. Later on, RBI brought new concept SMA 1, SMA 2, and these verticals also started matching those SMA 1, SMA 2. I am telling you the evolution. Why? Next, my dear friend. So, monitoring of all accounts was considered necessary. Large, I told the number 100 crores and above. Medium, maybe 10 crores to 50 crores or 10 crores to 100 crores. It differed from bank to bank. Medium. Large could start from 50 also, large could start from 100 also, depending upon the big size of the bank. Small, generally below 10 lakh. All of you know I did not explain these things. So it was found, and now small, the biggest number is in IRDP, agriculture, priority sector, big retail portfolio, housing loan, vehicle loan, car loan, education loan, etc., mortgage loan, every type of small and medium loan included retail priority sector portfolio. So this was huge in number, and this required also big monitoring. MSME. So improvements from manual system of monitoring was noticed around 2010, 11, 12, and it became a usual thing. Like, when we joined, there was no HR department. We had only personal department. We had staff department. Now we have 2, 3 GMs even within that segmentation, IR, MR, so many recruitment, selection, training, everything. There are 3 GMs and FGMs in personal HR. There was no department known as risk management department. Now this is one of the biggest departments. How far its benefits has been to the system, it is debatable. But because an account which is rated AA, AAA, or fine, suddenly it becomes D-rated or C-rated. So I don't comment on that part. But then risk management as a proper department, risk assessment. Earlier, the same credit manager who was monitoring, or the RM who was doing he was also doing assessing risk by his own yardstick, personal, 3 C's, capacity of the borrower, character of the borrower, and etc. etc. You know, but now we had a very thorough system of risk management, risk perception based on parameters, balance sheet, qualitative, quantitative, all. Similarly, IT department. We never heard IT department 20, 30 years ago. We initially had EDP cell when it was formed in Bhopal. I was the first EDP manager. The norm was anybody with science, math background will become. So my RM told, Dubey ji, aap ban jao. Hum ban gaye. Then it became computer department. Then it became CPPD, computer policy and planning department. It is only around 15, 20 years ago that all of them were known as IT department. Now there are various verticals even in IT department. There is a digital banking department separately now. So what I mean to say, innovation, development, progress has brought all these things. And therefore, credit monitoring vertical now is never going to go away. It will remain. Better we understand, better we learn, better we learn to live with us. Now these IT, these risk management, they credit monitoring, NPA, they are the biggest departments of any bank and organization. System, एक चीज छूट गया भाई, सिस्टम ड्रिवन आइडेंटिफिकेशन ऑफ स्ट्रेस्ड अकाउंट. पहले हम लोगों की मर्जी होती थी मैनुअल, जिसको दिखाना हो एनपीए दिखाएं, क्योंकि मैनुअल में अभी छोड़ दो यार, अगले क्वार्टर देखेंगे. ऑडिटरों से बात करते थे, इस बार छोड़ दीजिए, अगले बार देखेंगे, अगले बार छोड़ दीजिए, अगले बार. कई बार बच भी जाता था, कई बार ठीक भी हो जाता था, पर ये सब मन मर्जी का गेम नहीं था. दिस ऑल शुड बी सिस्टम ड्रिवन. अगर हुआ तो हुआ, एनपीए हुआ माने हुआ, चाहे भले एक दिन को हुआ फिर ठीक हो गया. So identification of accounts based on system driven, computer system driven became the norm. Next. Proper verification of end user fund. This continues to be one of the major factors of delinquency. We often sanction loans to our known people, established customers, and we believe he has bought vehicle, he has done a housing loan. Many times when it goes bad, when we go and find a vehicle is there and house is there. So end use of funds. If it is term loan, the loan amount was given for X purpose, whether it was used for X purpose or not, whether the security was created or not. I know in my PNB, there was a system PNB 551, 551 आज भी याद है. व्हीकल का इंस्पेक्शन करके वो फाइल में लगाना पड़ता. लोग आंख बंद करके लगा देते थे, यार फलाने तो हम जानते हैं, बिना देखे. Actually, either we should visit or we should call the vehicle to the branch, see it, and then sign it that yes, you have done. ये सब dilution होता गया मेरे दोस्त. Proper verification of end user fund was not done as it should have been done. Proper recording of all stock reports and control returns in system now is there, which was also not there. कोई borrower stock report 3-3, 4-4 महीने नहीं दे रहा है, कंट्रोल रिटर्न नहीं दे रहा है, डीपी उसकी चल रही है सेम, उसके यहाँ जाके देखोगे स्टॉक ही नहीं है और डीपी चल रही है. अकाउंट एक्चुअली तो एनपी हो गया, रिव्यू रिन्यूअल हुआ नहीं 1-1 साल. पहले दोस्तों ये सब चलता था, अब ये सब सिस्टम ड्रिवन हो गया है. So stock reports monitoring, stock reports attendance, control returns monitoring, attendance, this all has become little much better. Thorough physical inspection of stocks, I don't know how many do. I was also part of the system. Once or twice, here and there, I also, when I was branch manager, chief manager, for about 5-6 years, did it regularly or did it religiously. The rest of the time, believing the borrower, believing the operation in the account, believing the conduct of account, वो ठीक है. Neither we did nor we, although on the paper it was all allotted, because conveyance will be taken by the people only because the work is allotted. The branch manager, second man, third man, loans officer, other than loans officer, they will be given rotation duty for statement of this stock statement checking, book debt checking. But most of the time it was done perfunctorily. I am telling you, if from day 0, from day 1, If you believe in full compliance of terms and conditions and then release, and then strictly for 3 months do stock inspection, and then at least once in 3 months you or your second man does, borrowers will be knowing that you are looking into record, you are checking, you are physically seeing. अब उनको पता है आप जाते ही नहीं हो, आते ही नहीं, nobody comes, nobody sees, they do what they like, they submit return whatever they like. Paper things only happened earlier. आज अगर आप लोग कर रहे हैं बहुत अच्छी है बात है. Otherwise, my dear friends, my advice, my request for your safety, for bank safety, for system safety, proper thorough inspection of stock should be done. Advances which are, अगर आप नए नहीं है, मान लीजिए पुराना अकाउंट चल रहा है, एटलीस्ट आप आते ही तो शुरू कर दीजिए ना. तो पुरानी प्रैक्टिसेस बदलने में भी तो टाइम लगेगा, 6 महीने 3 महीने, पर वो आप डिसिप्लिन करना चाहेंगे तो कर सकते, नहीं तो नहीं होगा. ऐसे एडवांसेस जहां इंस्पेक्शन ही नहीं ढंग से कर सकते हैं, उनको करना बहुत रिस्की. ज्वेलरी एडवांस, आज के दिन आप और हम लेमैन नेकेड आई से ना ज्वेलरी को पहचान सकते हैं कि सही है कि गलत है, कि नकली है कि असली है, इसका वैल्यूएशन क्या है, ये 24 कैरेट है कि 20 कैरेट है कि क्या है. अगर ब्रांच को स्टॉक उसने बता दिया कि हमारे पास 1 करोड़ का 10 करोड़ का स्टॉक है, आपके पास कोई वेर विदल नहीं कि आप उसको चेक कर लो कि इसके बाद 10 करोड़ का स्टॉक, कितना पेड फार है, कितना अनपेड फार है, कितना डेटर्स है. आप किसी ऑथराइज ज्वेलर को भी लेके जाओगे जो आपके पैनल में है, उसको 4 दिन 5 दिन चाहिए कम से कम मोटा मोटा चेकिंग करने के लिए, अदरवाइज वो कर ही नहीं सकते. तो मेरे दोस्तों, thorough inspection of stocks is very essential. Be careful, my request to you. This is very, very important. And this is the same thing, proper verification of book debts. ये तो और भी नहीं करता कोई, करके देखो, आपको समझ में आ जाएगा ये क्यों इंपॉर्टेंट है. प्रॉम्प्ट रिपोर्टिंग ऑफ शॉर्टेजेस और डेविएशन. अगर आपने डेविएशन या शॉर्टेजेस नोटिस करी, आप उसको हफ्ते 10 दिन दे सकते हैं ठीक ठाक करने के लिए, ताकि उसको आप मोहलत दें. But beyond that, no. He would get कि हाँ चलता है. If you are strict from that point onward, perhaps you have won the race there itself. Otherwise, he will take the things for granted. Next. आगे चलें. Correct calculation of DP. Why I can't tell you here on the paper calculation of DP. You all are seasoned banker, you know how it is done. Every bank has its, there is a normal general process, then there is a specific to each bank. They decide, they define, it is there in book of instructions, it is there in the circular operating. It should be done strictly as given. I don't say this or that. Yes, some major contours I have delineated. Exclusion of unpaid stocks. Exclusion of stocks received through LC channel financing. There is a case in Delhi of Maruti, of some bank, where the same vehicle are shown everywhere. I can't tell you what all happened in the real market. Exclusion of stocks received for job work. Identification and exclusion of old stocks which are not moving, which are not sellable, which have practically no value. Identification and exclusion of old book debts. Proper verification of book debts. Importance of sample surprise check. And then calculating DP, keeping these and your guidelines of the bank in view. This is not only important, this is urgent, this is essential, and I would say you need not do any short circuit or shortcut in this. If you cut corners, he will cut you and bank into pieces. Borrowers are more smart than us. Next. Important monitoring tools. I have already covered, it's not something which but as we thought we need to have a system, a proper system of presentation, and therefore these things are customized now. Exception reports. Instead of morning checking of the past, now we have exception reports which system generates at the end of the day, which are available for everybody to see. How many see thoroughly, how many act upon it. May God bless you all. Seeing inflow and outflow from the account. You can always open any account in system when you are sitting idle in your chamber, or you are a bit free time, or you allot 10-20 minutes daily to see sample accounts, inflow and outflow. You will come to know what is happening in the account. I need not explain. Then ये सब भी अगर छूट गया तो जो आपके कॉन्केट ऑडिटर हैं, स्टैट्यूटरी ऑडिटर हैं, बैलेंस शीट ऑडिटर हैं, आरबीआई ऑडिटर हैं, ये हर अकाउंट पे बड़े बड़े कंप्लेन लंबे लंबे वो करते कमेंट करते हैं. वी डोंट बॉदर टू कंप्लाई. वी ऑल एंजॉय बीइंग नॉन कंप्लायंट. The culture of our country is weak even now in comparison to globally things. Our compliance level is the weakest. Civil compliance, road compliance, terms and conditions, anything related to compliance. Whatever is said to do, it is more violated than compliant. So when internal, external auditors write something, they not only write to save their skin, they do their duty to save you and your bank. I would say next to God in our banking is really auditors who show us the mirror, but still we think they are the bad people. They are टांग खींचते हैं. Maybe exceptionally 1%, 2%, maybe like that, but majority of them, they do a good job. And once we start complying, there could be a race between them pointing out and you complying. Fine. It is for whom good? Your good, his good, bank's good. Try. I have tried in my branch incumbency. It has worked. I have tried. And that is the reason my branch, which I took over from New Bank of India 93, the 96 at Ujjain, and Raupura, Vadodara as chief manager in 98. About 7 years, I was branch incumbent of 3 tough, difficult branches, which were identified as below average. In Appendix A means routine work, B means general loans, C means priority sector loans, Appendix D means IT and computer. All they were below average. Huge files of irregularities. We could close them by not writing that complied, by really complying in 3 months. And next year, within 9 months, we turned around and we got AA rating from the same bank. You could, you can. There was a race between me and my second man and third man, a routine guy and the loans guy and foreign exchange guy and IT guy. How much you can write, my dear content auditor? We can remove everything same day night. We didn't go from the branch till we complied. And there is a register, we used to say nothing verbal, you write and then give it to me in the evening before going. And by the time morning he comes, we have complied. Compliance could be at this level also. So give proper importance to this sacred institution of internal, external audit. My request to you, my advice to you, as an elder, as a senior, we have already got or not got in our life, but we can tell you the do's and don'ts, pitfalls and benefits. Rest is your choice. Next. Areva, big thank you comes. So thank you, my dear friends. These were all basically broadly general things regarding credit monitoring. This is a very deep pocket. This is a very deep subject where a lot can be told, a lot can be shared. You can ask me questions, dicey questions, tough questions. I don't mind. If I feel I am not interested to reply, I'll say so. But if I think I can reply and I can satisfy you, I will try to. One chat is there. Maybe I'll see. Arvindji will coordinate 5-10 minutes. You can ask as many questions as like. Let us interact so that it is not one way and not boring to you. I think no, this please use the mean. This also, I think Arvindji has told, please raise hand to indicate that you want to ask a question. Maybe raise hand or maybe type out.
Now you can unmute yourself and ask the question.
जी सर,
Now the participants can unmute themselves and ask the question. It
बिल्कुल
was at
बिल्कुल,
that time.
प्लीज डू। पार्टिसिपेंट भी तो 32 में एटलीस्ट 27-28 पार्टिसिपेंट हैं हमारे, 2-3 अपने आदमी होंगे, बाकी सब तो पार्टिसिपेंट्स हैं, तो ये उन्हीं के लिए है। इवन इफ देयर आर 27-8, there could be 5-10 questions also relevant. Even
Good
though
morning,
irrelevant,
sir.
please ask.
Good morning, sir.
Very good morning.
Sir,
Please
your
come on the
experience.
screen, unmute and video on kar dijiye. We could see and name and person. Would you permit, Arvind ji?
Yes, they can start their videos, and I'll rather
Please.
bring them on the stage also.
Please. Yes, somebody was calling.
Yeah, myself, Rajendra Bhatt.
Yes.
Hello. I am happy to see the architect for credit monitoring, sir.
Right.
Sir, my question is, in real estate, some funds are being diverted from cash credit accounts. Is one point. And our bank is very strict about real CRE. So we are not giving any funds for buying land. But other banks, even nationalized banks, they are permitting to buy land. They are giving loans. So your comments, sir, please.
Which bank you are working?
NKGSB Cooperative Bank, sir.
Pardon?
Yes.
NKGSB Cooperative Bank.
Okay. See, cooperative banks are governed by different set of rules. 1, 2, you are working in your bank, you are not working in other bank. You are supposed to follow rules, right or wrong, of your bank. If you feel other banks are permitting, you have every right to give suggestion to your controlling head, to your bank, verbally as well as in writing. What is the market practice? What our bank is doing? If your bank thinks it is still doing well, you have to follow that. If bank thinks that there is a scope of improvement or change in policy, they may come out with change. But if you work in X bank, you are bound to follow the policies of that particular bank. You can only tell them, request them that if we don't follow the market practice, we may lag behind. You may make out a good case, articulate, and I have seen many times suggestions of the field are also accepted by the management, and rules and process and circulars, everything are changed. Try that. I won't say anything. I won't say if other banks are doing X thing, you also follow. If your bank doesn't allow, you cannot follow till your bank allows. This is what I would like to say. Good question.
Thank you, sir.
Any more questions? Participants, please ask questions, because there is a lot of things regarding inspection and monitoring. And Dr. Dubey is here to help you out of those situations.
This is another problem, Arvindji, in our country. People don't ask questions because they are not involved in that process. That is another thing, lecture, they are ready to listen for hours together. You go to Western world, anywhere else, they talk less, they interact more. I have started cutting down on my lecture. I have started trying to develop more on interaction. So your real problems could be discussed. Like, Mr. Bhatt very rightly said, Mr. Bhatt, could I satisfy you or not?
Yes, sir. Satisfied, sir.
Okay, fine. I would like, all of you to have your doubts clarified. Your veterans are there. Dr. Farid, a lot of, we all can take care of your problems and guide you well for your future, rather than keeping quiet and saying, okay, ho gaya. चलिए अरविंद जी, जैसा वो चाहे, भगवान उनको सुखी रखे. I would give them you thank you all.
I would request you, they are not asking, but there is a problem which many people they face, especially regarding to stocks which are received under channel financing and LCs.
Yes,
they are not able to classify. So if you could give them a few tips on how to find out such a situation and how to act in this.
I agree. ओके, थैंक यू वेरी मच.
आप थोड़ा सा बता दीजिए सर उसमें.
देखिए, मैंने तो सब कुछ जो बता सकता था बताया. मैं यही कहना चाहूंगा, अब किसी को कोऑपरेटिव बैंक के लोगों को या पब्लिक सेक्टर बैंक के लोगों को या प्राइवेट कोई प्रॉब्लम है, कोई कंप्लेंट है, या वो करते हैं और उनको लगता है ये ऑब्स्टिकल है, लेट देम कम आउट। हाँ, हम तो ओपनली पूछ रहे हैं। इवन द सिलियस्ट क्वेश्चन कुड बी द बेस्ट क्वेश्चन, बिकॉज यू नो इट कुड बी यूजफुल फॉर मेनी हु वांटेड टू आस्क बट दे आर नॉट आस्किंग। तो आप इंटरेक्ट करोगे तो अच्छा है, नहीं करोगे नहीं। हम तो इसमें भी आई डोंट माइंड कि हमारा अरविंद जी हमारा मोबाइल नंबर, मेल आईडी सर्कुलेट कर दीजिए। जिसको हम अभी पूछने में सबके सामने झिझक होती है, हेजिटेशन है, वो हमसे अलग से कॉल मत करे, एक मैसेज दे दे, हम उसको जवाब देंगे, उसको समझाएंगे, सेटिस्फाई। What
If
more
there
can
is
we
a
do?
hesitation, they can send it in the chat box to me. I will ask on their behalf.
आपको भेज सकते हैं, आप तो इतने बढ़िया कोऑर्डिनेटर हो जैसा हमें मिलता ही नहीं है कहीं। The Banker Weekly and the club is functioning and doing well because of Shri Arvind Mohan ji.
Thank you, sir.
कितने पार्टिसिपेंट किया? ज्यादातर कोऑपरेटिव बैंक के हैं अरविंद जी।
Sir, actually इसमें 30 participants they are from NKGSB Cooperative Bank.
अच्छा अच्छा।
And actually MD of the bank, Mr. Diwakar Kamath, is also here.
वो दिवाकर जी तो लास्ट टाइम भी हम लोग से बात किए थे ना। या देयर गुड
He has
स्माइलिंग
supported a lot in this
दिवाकर जी, गुड
program.
मॉर्निंग। यू वर देयर लास्ट टाइम आल्सो
Yes,
एंड यू स्पोक वेरी वेल। आई एम
He
वेरी
is there.
हैप्पी यू आर फ्रॉम द पब्लिक सेक्टर बैंक एंड
Right,
यू आर
right,
टेकिंग
right.
केयर ऑफ issues and problems of your branch manager.
Right.
Even if they are not asking questions, no problem. Actually, we need to inculcate this culture in our people,
Yes.
that they ask questions, they confront us. You know, we are more compliant people. बेचारे उनको ये लगता है हमने ज्यादा पूछ लिया तो वो ये ना कहें कि बहुत ज्यादा होशियार बन रहा है. See, there are various things in our country, you know, people take it that way. But then fine, encourage discussion,
Yes.
encourage interaction, encourage them to clarify, get their doubts clarified, confront us. Yeah, we are more friendly. We are no more their bosses. We are friendly. We would like lovingly to talk to them to solve their problem. But now I do believe in two-way communication. I don't just make lectures only.
Correct.
And therefore, Arvindji, this will be always part of my system, that I will speak for a limited time. 10-15 minutes will be only for interaction, whether they want or they don't want.
सर एक इम्पोर्टेंट पॉइंट है हमारे बैंक में, लाइक इफ यू कैन डिलिबरेट ऑन दिस इश्यू।
बोलिए बोलिए।
अबाउट द ड्राइंग पावर इश्यू। ड्राइंग
Yes.
पावर में क्या होता है सर? थोड़ा अंडरस्टैंडिंग की प्रॉब्लम है। आई थिंक ऑल दिस ब्रांचेस नीड सम मोर लाइक।
आपकी आवाज थोड़ी धीमी आ रही है, स्लो।
सर द अबाउट ड्राइंग पावर ना सर, ड्राइंग
Yes.
पावर के मामले में आई थिंक माय ब्रांच हेड्स दे नीड मोर क्लैरिटी. I haven't trying to explain to them, but I think things are taken at a very थोड़ा easy ले रहे हैं लोग. Particularly drawing power, if you take it at face value, DP every time it is there, आप उतना लिमिट तक उसको अलाउ करो. लेकिन when the customer gives his balance sheet for March of each year, you compare the stock statement of that one, it will not tell you at all. There's no DP at all in that.
Right.
And then suddenly the next month he will इतना creditors कम करके दिखा देगा और then बोलेगा DP है मेरी अभी. So this is an issue which in our bank, like we have found so many clients like if you go to check properly, there's no DP at all, but DP is continuing in the account. So if you can shed some light on this issue to my branch heads here.
There is nothing special about that. The prudential norms and the guidelines of control mechanism, they are there universally for all. Those who are not doing that well, they need to follow.
Yes.
So far as calculation of DP is concerned, if you have in your bank some specific concern, you should make out a small case study or a problem, a real problem, circulate it. Ask them to solve, ask them to work on it, maybe demonstrate it, and get their doubts clarified. Unless Diwakar ji, we will catch hold the problem by its neck.
Right.
They may hesitate. We will have to remove their hesitancy, get the facts, get the data, work on it with them. Hand holding is required so that they do. इसके लिए कोई formula तो वही है जो time tested है. The only thing is they appreciate what is to be done, how it is to be done, and they know that it is being done. And you have to ensure that it is being done.
So, एक जो प्रॉब्लम हमने ऑब्जर्व करी है
जी.
People, they go, they see the stocks and they come back very happy कि बहुत सारा stock है, no problems. They don't go into the accounts part.
Yes, yes.
वो
They don't go
accounts
deeper.
नहीं देखते हैं और आजकल मोस्टली अकाउंट जो है कंप्यूटराइज हो चुका है. It is very easy to ask them कि कंप्यूटर से अपने लिस्ट ऑफ क्रेडिटर्स, लिस्ट ऑफ डेटर्स निकाल करके दे दो और उसमें वो टाइम क्लासिफिकेशन करके भी दे देता है कंप्यूटर. अगर आप उसके साथ
जी,
कट
जब
जाएंगे
तक लोग
तो
शैलो
1 मिनट
रहेंगे
में
ना,
निकल आता है सब
दिक्कतें
कुछ.
रहेंगी. They have to be a little deeper. We have to do hand holding. आप जैसा, आप सीनियर आप लोग है ना, आप लोग जैसे आदमी अगर जहाँ हैं, आप सब कुछ कर सकते हो. उनको हैंड होल्डिंग भी करा सकते हो, क्योंकि आपको प्रॉब्लम पता है कहाँ है.
Right, sir.
They may not be aware, they may not appreciate, but you know that. So, you know, I hear from sitting here in computer can't solve many problems. You can really do. I can only highlight, flag the issues and tell you and them what are the do's, what are the don'ts. If you do it, fine. If you don't do that, the following things could happen. That could be a problem. So the real solution is lies with you and your team. Maybe yours, yes, maybe if we have an internal team for clarifying those issues also, we can do that also. Namaskar, Dr. Farid. Namaskar.
Farid sir, you would like to say something on this?
अरे सर, जो veterans बैठे हुए हैं.
Farid sir, unmute yourself.
Unmute करो भाई, unmute और बोलो.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Kamaji. No, I did not want to say anything.
Good morning. That's the best thing we can say right now.
Not. Sachdev ji, good morning.
Very good
Sajdev
morning.
sir is also here
ऐसा बैठे सचदेवा जी.
for next session.
Very good morning, sir.
You are all fortunate, Kamaji. You have such galaxy of nice people
Yes, sir.
to go to any extent to solve issues. You know,
Right.
आप उसको कितना टैप कर लें, आप बहुत अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं. I appreciate that you are putting your managers before us.
Yes.
Even if they are not asking, but the importance of an issue is being highlighted, underlined, you can further do a backup. Bring them up again. No, if they have 2-3 such interactions, they will come out.
Yes.
You know, initial hesitation होता है. हम लोग भी जब जूनियर थे, तो बनता भी नहीं था, तो भी चुपचाप बैठ रहते थे. The human tendency is there, you know. So fine, no issue on that. I am thankful to all of you.
Sir, sorry, one more question. How to differentiate this in manufacturing firms account and trading firms account? So,
You know, manufacturing mein, see, the point is manufacturing mein you have stock in process, raw material, finished goods, book, debt, everything. You know, there is a whole lot of things in manufacturing. Trading is rather simpler. You know, trading mein you only buy goods bulk, keep it and then sell it. So they are two different things. And the norms also will be for trading norms will be relatively simpler. Manufacturing is actually the real inventory, stock checking, etc. applies only for manufacturing. Trading, it is very less. Sir, I take your leave because I